Hello, and I hope everyone has had a great week. I hope you've also had maybe some time to take a look at this presentation. What I'd like to do right now is go over it in a little bit of depth, maybe including different stories, maybe analogies, and helping you understand things a little bit better from the sense of how to develop a concept. So let's get started. Um, let's see if I can. All right, there we go. So a concept is a generator of ideas. It's the idea behind the design. It's not the design itself, and concepts tend to be fluid, abstract, and open to change. So what does all that mean? Well, what a concept really is it's it's an overlay or it's a juxtaposition of the use of a metaphor, typically, and the roles, the essence, the form, and the function of a project. Um, it's not the idea itself. It's just a hint at an idea. Concepts tend to be generators of innovation, generators of designs. So whenever I use the word concept, I want to make sure that what you understand is that it's not a physical design, whether it's a soft or hard, project, but it's the idea of a design or the idea of a project. Maybe you're addressing how you're going to solve a problem, specifically relying on the metaphor itself to reveal possibly the hidden qualities within the concept that eventually become out into the design. Um, George Lakoff and Mark Johnson say that our conceptual system is fundamentally metaphoric in nature, and I truly believe that. Metaphors act as overlays or a juxtaposition to create the concept. Um, Two parts of the concept are this idea of a metaphor and this idea of roles, essence, form, and function. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on just the role of the metaphor in the concept. So the metaphor itself is the inspiration. It's something that is outside the design that hopefully in some ways relates to the project in some way, shape, or form. Um, Whether it relates from a social standpoint, from a functional standpoint, from a formal standpoint, the metaphor should in some way relate to what your project is trying to do. I personally really enjoy taking metaphors from nature. I feel like it gives you a broad range of things to choose from the biological world. And so I heavily rely on metaphors whenever I'm designing. Metaphors are used to bring us near to a design. They make the designs more personal and allow us to connect them to the user with greater effectiveness. And so I think metaphors are a really great way of actually formulating ideas, but also in the end connecting the product to the user. Um, Metaphors are the basis for design, in my opinion. Why? Well, because design ultimately is based on language and narratives. You can't have design before you actually have words and before you actually can state your ideas. And because words have meaning, then when you choose a metaphor, because there's associations with certain metaphors and associations with certain connotations, then it's important that you choose your metaphors wisely. Um, as a result of that, our entire language, whether it's objects, spaces, or activities that we're describing, can rely on, excuse me, the use of metaphor as well. And then I'd say majority of our language, a lot of it really is relying on the use of metaphors. Just think about next time you have a conversation with somebody, how often you actually use metaphors. Um, so Steve Jobs used to during their grand openings or their unveiling of a lot of their products, he used to use different metaphorical sentences or phrases to describe their products. Well, not only was that effective once the product was already developed, but it was also effective during the initial stages, during the concept stages, to actually formulate and innovate ideas.